Hey, this is Dr. Campbell, and so today I wanted to talk about how to respond to racial slurs in the workplace. Now, it was interesting. I was talking to a young person recently, a young man. He had maybe 3 or 4 children, and he was talking about how people in the workplace were using racial slurs around him. And so this guy was really upset, and he was looking for some advice. Now, I will have to admit that I really had to think about what I was talking about, or what I wanted to talk about. And so, racial slurs can really make people angry. And see, the problem, when you respond angrily, you actually render control to the person who is giving or exhibiting the racial slur. And so the first thing, you can't get angry about it. Some people, in 2019, they just don't know any better. And so you have to do it a different way. And so let me give you the 3-step process. But before I go into the 3-step process, I couldn't believe the number of names that are considered racial slurs against African Americans. I mean, I have a list of 30 different names. I'm like, wow, And so this is the first thing you have to do. The very first thing that you have to do when you hear a racial slur is you have to go to the person and you have to tell them that you are offended. Because if you don't tell them that you are offended, they're going to believe that that type of language is acceptable. So that's the very first thing that you have to do. And a lot of times when you're talking about harassment from a human resources perspective, which is really what this is harassment in the workplace, the first thing they're going to ask you is, what did you do first? And if you didn't do anything, then they're going to consider your complaint the first action, and you're not going to get the results that you really want. And so once you tell a person that, see, this is what you got to do, then you want to put it in writing. You want to put the incident in writing. You want to put in what was said in writing. You want to put in where it happened, what day it was. You want to put in as many facts as possible in a letter. And then at the bottom of the letter, you want to carbon copy it either to human resources or to the owner. But before you provide them with a copy, you want to give that person or those persons a copy of the letter. Now, one of the things that I see that happens is, like, for example, recently in General Motors, there were some nooses around the plants. And so those people are cowards because they don't have the fortitude to come forward and say, look, I'm the one who don't like you, okay? And so that's why I say you can't get angry about stuff. We get angry about stuff, and then we're the ones who wind up being terminated, okay? And so now you have given the person the letter, and you copy it to human resources or to the owner. And you let them know in writing that this is what you did to solve or try to solve the problem. This is what you did to try to tell them that this type of racial slur is not acceptable in the workplace. Now, this is the key. What happens is human resources, because you sent them a letter, it has to go into your personnel file and it has to go into their personnel file, which means that they have to do an investigation, which is really what you wanted in the first place, okay? So that's what you do. You write the letter. No, you first tell the person this is not acceptable language in the workplace. You write the letter, you copy it to the owner or human resources, and then they investigate, and now everybody has been put on notice. And they will probably bring in some additional training, or they will provide the alleged person with additional training, but now they will have a watchful eye. But like I said before, you see, when you get angry, now you put your job in jeopardy. This is Dr. Campbell. You can get additional information on my website at www.positiveracialrelationships.com. And of course, if you want to talk about it, you can call me on my direct line at 856-566-3267. Have a great day, and thank you very much.